so why this show? I know you like the sound of it. I know you love the style of it. Now sit back, here comes the riding show. All I gotta say is I love the word bitch. Remember me still hating on Nintendo shit? 3 years later, Uncharted shits on Gears of War. Now I don't gotta say I hate it no more. Same review who loves to say son of a bitch became a YouTube star, still don't own a car. You want a review, you don't gotta look far. Prove once again, these sites ain't on par. Okay, the basic story here is Beatrice is killed when Dante returns from the war, and he needs to get her soul back, because obviously she's going to hell, as you see Satan dragging her down to hell. And obviously Dante, loving her, doesn't like that, and goes after her through the 9 stages or circles of hell. And throughout these stages you meet all these different characters, and overall the story is just basically boring. To put it blunt, I found this story dumb. The voice acting wasn't very well done, for the most part. I mean, Poet was good, but Dante's was just, Beatrice! That's all he said, Beatrice! Every fucking line, Beatrice! Shut up, motherfucker! You're going through the 9 stages of hell first before you get her back. That's how it works. That's how a game works. Sorry, I had to vent. As I was playing this game, it just came through my mind like, he won't shut up. But as you go through the 9 stages of hell, like I said, you meet all these different characters, and Dante really doesn't evolve as a character. He basically just keeps screaming that he wants Beatrice back, and the story just doesn't move anywhere. I mean, the learning about the past when Dante was alive and seeing it through the animation cutscenes is all cool, and I did like that, but it really leads nowhere, and you don't really care anything about any of these characters, to be honest. So overall, the way the story is presented isn't the greatest way, and it's just flat out basic story of getting Beatrice back. It's just not well done. The design in this game kicks ass. Okay, let me hit the good. The design in this game is great. The reimagining of all these different monsters and the way they are disgusting and ugly and just you want to tear their head out because they're so ugly you feel bad for them. That's how this game looks. And to me, that's good because this is hell. This is like the worst imaginable designs in the world and we have to kill these things because they're so ugly. However, the other side of it is that the raw power isn't that great. Not to say that some of the attacks don't look great, and not to say that the camera angles and all that don't look awesome, but the raw power, the fire in this game looks terrible. The effects of some of the attacks and special abilities like magic and stuff just aren't doing it for me. And overall, you can see that it lacks. And while the environments are all cool in design, they definitely don't look up to par with some of the games of this year. So yeah, the graphics are lacking in terms of raw power, but the design is great. Okay, this is where I struggle with Dante's Inferno. Let me hit up the good. The combat can be very good. It can be very fast, it can be very brutal, and it just works really well at times. Okay, now let's not kid ourselves. It feels very much like God of War. It doesn't have that same raw power that God of War gives you, but it definitely feels like it. And if you like God of War, you'll feel right at home with the control scheme and all that. So, for the most part, the combat is good. I'll get to the bad of the combat in a moment. Now, the other good thing about the game is the skill tree. Now, what do I mean by that? Basically, whether you do a good or a bad action, absolve or just kill, you get to build your tree up. And the tree offers different attacks and different abilities such as health up and different magic abilities and so on. But the main thing is that the more evil you are, the more you can upgrade your scythe, and the more good you are, the more you can upgrade your cross. And I thought that was pretty cool, and you can kind of even it out, but if you want to fully upgrade, you'll have to pick one side. But it definitely makes the choices actually mean something in this game. And the final thing I like is that the bosses are epic in this game, and just chopping their heads off or ripping their arms off or just climbing on the back of them and doing these massive awesome attacks just looks awesome. And overall, the bosses are definitely the highlight of the game. Too bad there's not as many as I hoped for. Now the bad. Let me hit the weakest of the bad. While I said the gameplay is good, it does share its problems. Now you can't stop mid-combo in some attacks, and that really hurts the gameplay, seeing as the enemies can break your combos at any time. And while I thought that I had enough combos, I feel that a lot of combos are just upgrades of the previous one and add an extra attack. I thought they could have done much more, and it just doesn't give that feel of amazing just strike down on an enemy when you do your final attack of that tree. And it's just not enough for me to feel like I'm actually tearing these people apart. And sadly, that's important in a game like this when you're fighting in hell. You know, you need to feel like an epic badass. But that's the weakest of the bad. The bad parts are the puzzles suck in this game. They're completely retarded, and if you can't figure them out, something is wrong with you. Second, the goddamn platforming is terrible. There's too much sections of platforming and climbing ropes and jumping ropes. It's not fun. It's not fun, Visceral Games. It's not fun. Stop it. And the third thing I really can't stand, the fucking cheapness of enemies. Yes, you spinning attack bastards. Yes, you Wolverine crazy bitch. And just overall, some of the enemies aren't fun to fight. They just take forever to kill. They have like infinite defense. And sadly, there's about 5 enemies in this game. And then they just redesign them with different hair color or give them an armor or a shield. I thought that was a weak way out. Since the design is so good in this game, they can add so many more enemies. It's just weak. Weak, man. So definitely more enemies, much better puzzles next time, and holy shit, just take out the platforming altogether because it sucks. This is how I feel about Dante's Inferno. It starts off well, actually great. I love the first 2-3 levels, or circles, and it was just fun going through them. But as you progress down these circles of hell, it becomes hell. Literally, you're going through hell. It becomes boring. It becomes tedious, it becomes annoying when these enemies are just cheap as hell. Not to mention the game is 6 hours long. Not to mention in those 6 little hours you might find some glitches, because I found 3. And guess what? It's not fun falling through a floor. It is not. It is not fun. Not fun at all. And while I love the bosses, there's just not enough of them. Very weak. And same thing with enemies. There's not enough enemies in this game. There's barely any. There's like 6, maybe top 7. My achievement, whore friends, and trophy friends. You can beat this game on any difficulty, and then you won't get an achievement for beating on a harder difficulty, so there really is no reason to replay this 6-hour adventure. And let me just comment that at the end of the game, the challenges are retarded. This challenge room, the 9th challenge room, is fucking dumb. It is stupid. It is retarded. Yes, you are able to do it, obviously. I've seen people beat this game, but it is just dumb. It is stupid to make a hit counter. It's just dumb. You're watching it. I've died repeatedly over and over again because it's a stupid challenge. I get it. People are gods at action games, and that's great for you. However, when you just want to sit back and beat a game and you're forced not to drop a combo no matter what you do, and you have to fight maybe 30 enemies, not fun. You get hit, you stop. You grab them, you stop. Anything you do besides just keep slashing, you will fail this challenge, and it just ruined the end of the game for me. Not that I wasn't having a boring time before that, but that part really fucked it up. So the game does contain some great moments. It has some cool bosses, some cool set events, and overall badass design. But everything else just hurts it. From the graphical power, to the shitty ass enemies, to just overall a 6-hour adventure and really no reason to replay. Dante's Inferno, I don't like to compare, but damn it man, if you're gonna copy God of War, do a better fucking job.